The Philadelphia Eagles are just 2 days away from their third preseason contest, and it comes at home against the Baltimore Ravens. Now, the two teams have held 2 joint practices prior to the matchup, something I think the NFL are leaning more towards as opposed to more preseason games. And as expected, there are plenty of highs, lows, and a little bit of everything in between. So here is everything you need to know from 2 grueling days of scrimmage down at the NovaCare complex. As always guys, before we get into the video, make sure you leave a like and hit that subscribe button if you enjoy this sort of content. It would mean the absolute world to me. We have now had officially 1 full month of daily uploads at this channel, on top of all the content we're grinding out at phillysportsnetwork.com, so we can't thank you enough for all of the support. But make sure, if you're not going to our website, that you are getting your daily dose of Philadelphia sports coverage from myself and all of our writers. We're going to start this video off with an injury scare, and this one is quite substantial. On Monday, tight end Richard Rodgers was carted off the field. He'd only just come back after dealing with a foot injury, and he was absent from practice today. Now, this in itself could be problematic. The Eagles, as we know, like to run a lot of 12 personnel, and that's fine if you want Goddard and Ertz both on the field, but if you want to run 13 personnel, which has become a somewhat staple of this Eagles offense, especially in 2017, you're gonna need another guy there, and that's what Richard Rodgers did. He replaced that Brent Selleck level role. Now, if he is to miss substantial time, this opens up the door for Josh Perkins, who on Tuesday had to go inside and come back due to the heat. We'll get to that a little bit later, but there will be a battle now between Josh Perkins, Will Tye, and Alex Ellis, who was recently signed by the team. It's likely one of these guys make the roster, if not 2, depending on the severity of the injury to Richard Rodgers, but don't write that off. That was a massive loss for the Eagles last year. He may not have seen significant snaps, but the Eagles weren't able to run 13 personnel sets and utilize 2 receiving threats out of jumbo packages as they were used to doing with Trey Burton and Zach Ertz in 2017. So the idea of getting that back is somewhat mesmerizing. The question is, who will be that guy taking the Brent Selleck role? If Rodgers suffers a second injury setback in as many years, look for either Will Tye, who's a bit more experienced, Josh Perkins, or maybe, just maybe, even Alex Ellis to step up. One man seeing plenty of action over the last couple of days was formerly undrafted running back Clement. Having missed most of the offseason due to recovering from last year's season-ending knee injury, it's nice to see Clement back in the thick of it during 11-on-11 drills. We haven't seen him in preseason action yet, but this is a very encouraging sign with just 2 weeks remaining. Pipping Wendell smallwood to the post should easily be an attainable feat here. He should still be in good shape to make the roster, providing he can stay on the field, but he'll still likely need to get some preseason action under his belt after missing the first 2 games. On the inverse of that, one man with a lot to do is unfortunately Mack Hollins. After a tough preseason appearance against the Jags, whereas if you watched yesterday's film room, you know he wasn't really utilised in a position that would display his strength, Backpack Mac has endured a tough few days against the Ravens defense. He's dropped 2 passes in the last 3, and he faces stiff competition for that 5th wide receiver spot. The pressure is on for the former 5th round pick, who will need to show more than special teams prowess to keep his role. If guys like Greg Ward Jr., Marken Michel, or even Carson Agadosi can continue to strive and make the most of their opportunities, there is a chance that Hollins could end up on the wrong side of the roster bubble. It was only a matter of time until we could mention the song of the summer, and that is of course the Clayton Thorson anthem. Thorson really heated up on Monday against the Ravens, and it's easy to see why. After completing 16 of 26 passes for 175 yards on Thursday, confidence is a wonderful thing, and it appears as though the project quarterback is really finding his rhythm exactly when he needs to. He had a great throw to the back of the end zone to find JJ Arcega-Whiteside, and would later find Marken Michel, who beat the Ravens defense as well. His fate at this point in time remains uncertain. Will he make the final 53 while Sudfeld is IR stash? Will he be waived in the aims of landing on the practice squad? Who knows, but if he keeps improving, expect plenty more of this. Clayton Thorson, da 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 da. Clayton Thorson, da 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 da. Clayton Thorson, da 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 da. Clayton Thorson, da 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 da. Clayton Thorson. Carson Wentz looked sharp against the Ravens defense, which I think is a massive point to make as well. The Ravens allowed the fewest points of any team in the NFL last year, and throwing dimes and rekindling a connection to Alshon Jeffrey is exactly what the doctor ordered. He threw his first touchdown of the day on Monday to Matt Collins during a red zone drill, and would later find a deep pass to Nelson Aguilar, and of course, Alshon Jeffrey went up in the air to rebound and snag the ball away from Earl Thomas. Over the last 2 weeks, the Wentz to Alshon Jeffrey connection has really started to pick up speed, which can only mean good things. If Wentz is on the same page with Djax, Alshon and Aggie, then watch out the rest of the NFL. On the flip side of that, the Eagles defense has been really good against one of the most dynamic quarterbacks in the game, especially down in the red zone. Lamar Jackson had 0 touchdowns in back-to-back red zone series, and they failed to punch one in 3 consecutive tries. Adding to that list on Tuesday was an absolute pick city sort of atmosphere. The Eagles defense looked really good by all accounts. Interceptions were a common theme in the secondary as expected, but even the defensive line, Vinny Curry, yep, that Vinny Curry intercepted Lamar Jackson. Trey Sullivan and recently signed cornerback Ajeen Harris also grabbed themselves a slice of the pie, while Rasul Douglas, TJ Edwards and Malcolm Jenkins all dropped their slice of cake on the floor. Either way, considering the Eagles defense struggled to generate turnovers last year, this is a really promising update from a scrimmage situation which you can probably take a little bit more stock from than your average training camp practice. And while we're on that note as well, it looks as though the race for CB1 honours may be finally coming to a close. Ronald Darby participated in 11-on-11 action against the Ravens offense and held his own. There was little debate as to whether or not Darby should automatically resume his starting cornerback duties once healthy, but the main takeaway here is that he's looking to be raring to go by the time week 1 rolls around, having just dipped his feet wet into 11-on-11 drills against a nasty Ravens offense. The real question now becomes who will start alongside him. It's interesting that Jones has been pushed outside today, while Avonte Maddox moved inside to play the nickel role. Will Jones finally step up as an outside corner as he enters his 3rd year in the NFL? The former 2nd round pick will be beginning to feel the weight of expectation if not. As for Maddox, we can presume he's going to ball out wherever he lines up, and if Rasul Douglas isn't in this picture, he might not be too happy. But that is it, guys, for the final time in Eagles training camp diaries. We've grinded this out once every single live practice. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you've enjoyed this content. We are finally almost at football season again, so buckle up, strap yourselves in. It is going to be a roller coaster. From myself, Liam Jenkins, I will see you very soon here at the Philly Sports Network YouTube channel.